once went on a date with a guy and he was like, oh, like I play cello, like, and I was like, oh my gosh, you should play for me. He's like, actually crazy, like, not to make you come back to mine, but my apartment is right across the street. We should go back to my place. And I was like, okay, cool. I walked into this apartment and I said, this is an awful layout. Like, why would they design the apartment this way? And I just started going in and in and in. He said, what's your address? I was like, what? And he was like, what's your address? And he was like, I'm calling you an Uber to go home.
I'm sorry, but what is up with the women here in Tampa? I have never experienced a more cold vibe from women than here. I don't know about you, but every time I walk by somebody on the street, the sidewalk, in the mall, whatever, and we make eye contact, I always smile at them because that's the polite thing to do. Apparently not here. Apparently here, you have to be as mean as possible. Every person that I walk by, not every person, but a lot of them, the women give me the up and down and then give me a stare dirty enough to kill somebody. And I don't understand it and I don't like it. And it's really not necessary. Can we all just be nice to each other? It's not that hard.
Do women want to be approached by men?
Yes, but confidently. And, I mean...
Take the hints.
Yeah.
Take the hints. If a woman says no, then no.
Or if she looks at you funny, don't go near her?
Yeah,
you might as well just walk
leave her
away.
alone.
For sure.
Honestly, that pause indicates he gotta be 6 feet. So yeah, at that point.
What's something that would turn you off or be an instant ick?
A man splitting the bill and a man having a Snapchat over 20 years old.
I agree.
Also, Snapchat's not allowed anymore?
Yeah,
Hell
Snapchat's
no.
just childish. It gives high school.
Really?
Snapchat, no.
Yes, high school energy for sure.
Snapchat is a no-go.
Why? What about Snapchat makes it such a no-go?
It
It's-
seems fake. They're just trying to get into your pants and are probably snapping a bunch of other girls behind your back.
It just gives juvenile.
Just the setup of it? Just the way
It just gives juvenile. It gives temporary. No, we
It's
want
not-
grown men.
Okay, not giving grown man vibes.
Not giving grown man vibes.
Yep.
You can't have a Snapchat if I can't have a Snapchat. Period.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, based on the way y'all dressed, y'all trying to show them what is actually in your pants. So I don't see what the difference is.
I'm just saying, any man that's ever got my number simply came up to me and was like, hey, my name is, I think you're really cute, can I get your number? That's it. That's all you gotta do, please.
A dude in the comments said, y'all, she's posting this for that one dude that been ignoring her. Keep it pushing.
Somebody needs to tell these men to stop putting no kids, never married in their dating profile. All that tells me is that you're 35 years old and nobody else wanted you.
Stupidity. A man in the comments said, so 3 kids divorced is better? Asking for a friend. Stupid. She says. That's what she says. Absolutely. With an exclamation point. Within reason, 3 kids and divorced to me means you wanted to be a husband and father at some point. Sometimes things don't work out how we planned them. What's that? Mr. Potato Head? What did he say on Toy Story? Did you all take stupid pills this morning?
Okay, guys, we need to talk about gender essentialism, aka bioessentialism. You are not, quote unquote, the real catch just because you're a woman. Even though you could argue that statistically, if you grab any average woman off the street and any average man, the woman on average would be expected to be a little bit more caring. But these are here because of socialization and not biology. And we cannot conflate the two. I'm expensive and he should be happy to pay for me because I'm a catch. I'm the real catch. I'm not telling you how to live your life. Have that relationship, girl. I'm not stopping you. I don't give a I'm just saying it's not progressive or productive. It's not pro-women necessarily either. I'm tired of acting like equality isn't the correct answer here. You cannot, and this is an objective truth, you cannot take a demographic, any demographic, and say that they are intrinsically better or worse by virtue of their genes. That's bioessentialism, not because I said it was, but because that is the textbook definition of it. And gender essentialism, yes, does exist. There is no form of bioessentialism that is productive, that is good, and that is also an objective truth. The goal is equality, not to have a benevolent patriarch. But, oh yeah, I'm just a fake feminist. What do I know? Like, I don't care at this point. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you what to do, babe. I'm just saying, do some reading. I'm also not saying that it's worse than misogyny. Did not say that, because I know someone's going to say that in my comments. I'm also not saying this for men. Because everybody likes to comment, I hope he picked you. I'm not looking for a man. I've been in a relationship for 3 years. I'm not doing this for the approval of men. I don't need the approval of men. Next.
Modern women, for some reason, continue to tell men how much better they are than men, and then turn around and expect men to be okay with that. Oh, you're in a lower class than I am. That should mean that you pay top dollar for me to just even hang around you. What? You don't think that's desperate, weird, like low self-esteem energy?
I don't know, because I feel like if I'm gonna go half on red with it, like, can I cheat a little bit? Like, you know, like...
I mean, we can all do whatever we want, but we can never truly know the consequences of those actions.
Because when I walked in, it was packed. And what do you think I saw? What do you think I saw?
What did you see?
Exactly what I thought I was going to see.
What?
80 women sitting alone. No men in sight. None.
I saw so many Black women try to solve a problem in dating by starting to host events in person, trying to create third spaces to facilitate dating like offline. And you know what would happen every single time? The men were not signing up. They would be selling tickets to speed dating, and they would always end up with men's tickets on sale. Always, because they weren't buying in, right? Not one single man sent their profile in. And mind you, this is an account that has well over 100,000 followers. It's just time to stop. It's time to stop. They have made it very loud and clear.
And here's why I think we're doomed to be single for the rest of our lives.
We think that we've actually hit rock bottom.
I'm gonna get hate for this, but whatever. I approached a Black man this week at like a dating event, and he was not interested in me, and that by itself is like not a great story, right? I tried to shoot my shot, he was not interested, I moved on. But immediately after I walked away from this man, he went up to a group of 5 white women and he introduced himself to all of them. And then I kind of observed out of like the corner of my eye for the rest of the evening, this man was only going up and talking to different white women. Later that night, another very attractive Black man came in, the exact same thing, only talked to the white women that were in the room. There were maybe 6 or 7 Black women throughout. And I could tell, I would look over at the Black women occasionally, they would be looking, we would all be observing the same thing. We're all thinking the same thing, right? And as someone who has reviewed a bunch of different like dating events, I have seen this play out so many times where you walk into a room, the Black women are looking for other Black men and the Black men are not looking for Black women.
There's a woman in the comments that said, that's interesting. Black men always approach me. Another one concurred and said, me too. That's exactly it. Men are moving around you women. They're staying away from you women. Y'all wanted to act silly. You know, I would venture to say that if y'all become more pleasant, then a man's going to say, you know what? I think she's cute. Let me give it a shot. And you'd be surprised at the attention you get.
One thing that I find interesting about this kind of Machiavellian power grab dynamic that a lot of men are engulfed in today's society is that it's almost seen as a weakness for a man to go out of his way to create an emotionally safe space for people. So much so to the point where a man will allow his peers or even participate in the process of like denigrating these kinds of behaviors and instead favoring negligent behaviors or even borderline behaviors in order to maintain some sort of dominance or leadership position that they've created in their mind. And I find it interesting that a lot of men are now beginning to resent women, especially, you know, within dating now, because women are really being radicalized from the misconceptions of love that we've been groomed to believe. There's absolutely no guarantee that there's going to be any benefit or positive outcome from a woman being overly nurturing
overextending herself, being self-sacrificial to bolster and support every little piece of a man's hopes and dreams and his eccentricities. In fact, you are more likely to get laughed at and or walked like a dog or a doormat now. A lot of women have done away with the ideologies that we are automatically going to get something great by being these great people to men and supporting their self-esteem and helping build their self-esteem. That was literally your mother's job. And there's so much resentment there now, and I just can't help but question why. And it really speaks to the dehumanization of women. I'm supposed to crave the temporary validation of a man who is not even in the position to be the kind of person that he wants in his life. Yet you surround yourself with people who have a greater aptitude to laugh at a woman's pain, laugh at you harming a woman, encourage you to neglect a woman. Why are you resentful? Because something is owed to you, or is it anger that the manipulation stronghold is weakening? I would never sign up for anything like that for free. You can barely pay me. I might ghost the job. Women are waking up to the fact that if a man can't come into your life with benefits for you, he's literally almost giving you nothing at all. And the manipulators hate it.
So you want hazard pay is what it sounds like. That's what a lot of, I think this is just another form of sprinkle, honestly. And I think we wrap right back around to what a lot of men say. This is just a nicer version of, if you're selling it, if you're working on the corner, then just say that.
Can somebody please tell me why I love when a guy gives me nothing, when he acts like he's not that interested? But the minute a man shows like some type of obsession or clinginess towards me, I get an immediate ick and want to run away. What's wrong with me?
You got to get help immediately.
And I made a video a couple of minutes ago telling black women to stop shaming other black women for wanting a man. And the independent soldiers came right in my comments proving exactly what the fight said. Y'all prove what the fight say every time. If you feel like you don't need a man and like that, then separate yourself right now. Separate yourself right now. I'm telling you, if you're a part of that strong, independent black women troop, separate yourself. Because us family-oriented black women, y'all messing it up for us, and you know what I'm saying? So yeah, just separate yourselves. You out in public and you get to talk about your degrees and your accolades and you career driven and all the other shit. Do not come stand around me. Don't come stand around me at all. One lady, she jumped in the comments and she was like, statistically, we are out earning black men. We are out earning black men and stuff like that. Girl, don't nobody give a fuck about that. We still at least married. We still creating broken homes. Y'all still freaked out. Y'all still just becoming single moms. We need to fix the community. Yes, we are the most educated. We are the most educated. I give y'all that. Y'all took your ass to school. But still, bro, we need to we still creating broken homes. Y'all still fucking. Y'all still fucking on men that don't really mean anything. So yeah, if you're a strong, independent woman, stay far away from me. Stay far away from me, because I like to be soft. I don't like to be working like a slave and working 40 hours a week and, relying on the government's money and all the other stuff. So if you that kind of woman, just separate yourself from the others. Please separate yourself from the others.
I can totally understand why you want to not put yourself out there. Sounds like a lot of times you've been hurt by people in the past. And I think that's just the risk that anyone has to take when you're vulnerable and you put yourself out there. But I do believe that in order to attract the love that you want, you have to keep an open heart despite getting hurt or being rejected. We can't let the pain that other people make us feel close us off and live life from that place of being closed off, because then you're only going to perpetuate that cycle.
So a dude in the comments said approaching is a skill. Just because you're approaching a woman doesn't mean you're doing it well. If I were a baseball player and struck out 100 times in a row, I wouldn't blame the ball or the bat. But you would get a coach. You would expect somebody at some point in time to give you some pointers, some directions, and then you would go and try those. And if those pointers didn't work, you would come back for help, right? You wouldn't necessarily expect your coach to be like, well, you're trash, and maybe you should just quit. Also, your feet are too big, your head's too big, your eyes are sunk, they look like they're sunk in your sockets. You're really not cut out for anything. I don't know why anybody would want to be around you. That's what modern women are doing. Completely unrelated to anything else. They're trashing the person. They're taking shots at who the person is, the man is in this situation. just all around being rude to the person. Instead of anything that's constructive, they're talking stupid, saying stupid stuff. It would help if they gave some good feedback, but it's not really good feedback because they don't even follow it. They don't even know what they want. They say a whole bunch of stuff, but then it just comes down to there's not a lot that, we're just saying stuff and we really didn't mean any of it. We're just talking. That's it. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work at all. So we just wasted your time.
I dated this man whose brother was an asshole. And we went on a double date, me and my boyfriend and his brother and his wife. We went to a Chinese restaurant. We ordered crab rangoons, as one does. And we're just all chilling, vibing, whatever, like enjoying our apps, enjoying our drinks, this, that, and the other. And I reach for my second crab rangoon or whatever. Plenty for the four of us. There was plenty for everyone to have more than one. This wasn't crazy. But I reached for another crab rangoon and Ryan is like, oh wow, you must really like those. It was the most bizarre. I just remember looking at his wife and being like, are you okay? Is this what you deal with at home? Are you allowed to eat? Blink twice if you're okay. Anyway, I think of that asshole every time I eat crab rangoon now.
Honestly, man, you guys really got to get a life. It's probably not that deep. If I was really just inhaling a certain thing, then anybody would take notice and be like, man, you're really killing those things. Slow down. And I would probably take it as a joke. You guys take yourself too seriously.
I'm not even going to speak for all men, but the men I talk to, they always hit me with this line oh, I really want you, if we ever broke up, it wouldn't even be because of me. It would be because, you ended it because I really am locked in with you, yada, yada. But it's yeah, I end up leaving them, but it's because y'all aren't even treating me right. Yes, it is going to be me. You're right. Because they won't end it, but they'll treat you. So it's I got no other option. Sorry.
I think maybe you're just talking about one dude in particular. And maybe you want him to hear this.
What's with men that they're programmed to give a solution to every problem? I know it's a joke that whenever you tell your boyfriend you have a headache, they're like, did you drink water? But I was just complaining to my guy best friend about work, and he was like, well, you just need to work hard and then you'll get there. He already knows I work hard. He's not trying to be like, you don't work hard enough. He just wants to give a solution to my problem. I don't want a solution to my problem. I just want to complain. But maybe they hate that. If you're a man, comment down below if you think it's annoying when girls complain just to complain. Because I feel like I don't hear that a lot from men.
Right, because complaining is negative. It's not progressive. You spend all your time complaining, oh, they did this, they did that. Did anything good ever happen? That's a loser mindset. That's a loser mentality. You always have something to complain about. I've got to go out there and work. I've got to make money. And you complaining to me, bringing my mood down? Why would I want that? After I've had a hard day. I work all day. I'm mentally tired. Why would I want somebody bringing my mood down even further?
People get mad when you say you're a single mom who won't date men with kids. But there was a creator on here, and she said, one man's trash is another man's treasure, but one woman's trash is every woman's trash because women don't get rid of good men and good dads. Makes so much sense. If your baby mama don't want you, why the fuck would I? Why the fuck would I?
Only in America can you talk stupid while eating a piece of bread in your own home. Just talking stupid.
So I was asked today, why don't I blame men for the dating market, and also in other words, why don't I practice misandry? Why don't I have this hatred for men and things like that, and given what I've gone through and stuff like that? And I'm like, and because I'm not single by choice. And I had to answer this from a sociologist standpoint, because that's how I understand the world. My sociology degree helps me understand how to navigate, even though it has nothing to do with what I do for a living. But I love it. And this is how I've been able to understand almost everything in this world. And when it comes to dating, one, I can say from what I see and what I understand is there's a small group of people who come from
a higher socioeconomic background. They grew up with their two parents. They came from a good, conducive environment where they had access. And these people are doing well. They are having difficulty finding someone due to the fact that most likely they have these unrealistic expectations. Because people in those environments, they date and mate with each other and they do well, okay? Because they've had that environment that laid, you know, the framework for them. And that's a great thing. But for those of us who grew up in the hood, who are from around the way, who grew up in environments where we either had no parents, you raised by a single parent who you barely saw, father most likely probably in prison, doing life in prison, he did, or you have no idea who your father is. These are the people having difficulty dating. These are the people having difficulty dating. When there's chaos and dysfunction present in your childhood, it is going to dictate how you experience the world. It's going to dictate your dating options, and it's going to dictate possibly what your life could turn out to be. And this is where a lot of like black women, they always tell themselves, we've always dated down. We always dated down because they often believe moving tax brackets means that they now qualify for a different caliber of men. And it's like, no, if we're honest, we still only qualify for the dude that's in the hood that ain't do with his life, and he's doing absolutely nothing. He's probably sitting on his mama's porch, his mama's basement playing video games. And that's because the lived experience and socioeconomic background is similar. He's raised by a mother that's barely there, non-existent. He doesn't know who his father is. His father's doing life in prison. That's the man that you often qualify for. What I've done is looked at that and said, well, I'll just not date. I'll just not be with anyone. And where there's black women who believe like that just means that, you know, this is the men's fault. And no, it's actually your mother and your father's fault, or the lack thereof. They set up your dating your dating path. They set up what you qualify for. Because the truth is, there are black men who have done very well in life, who are making good money, okay? Highly educated, highly intelligent, but they can never bring a black woman like myself or other black women that are in similar positions like me. We were able to move tax brackets, but that socioeconomic background will follow us for the rest of our life. For the rest of our life. And most people are not going to look past that. What do you mean your dad's in prison? What do you mean you were only raised by your mother? What is happening here? What do you mean? And you have to be, on Serena Williams level to not have that be something people don't consider. And so a lot of times as black women, that, you know, just because we moved tax brackets, which is great, and we broke away from the environment, we did not become products of the environment. That environment still is a part of us, and that's something that people are going to judge us by. And that's why a lot of times even proximity to different kind of men doesn't change, because now they got to peel back the layers of who's your mother? Where did she go to college? And this is something new for us as black people, because we've never really discussed classism and how it works and everything. But the reality is, and the same thing for black men. Black men, they'll come and they'll complain, there's no good women, there's this, there's that, I want a woman that looks like this and that and la. And it's like, you just don't qualify for that kind of woman. Like, you don't qualify for a Lori Harvey. Sorry to break that to you, but you don't. There are plenty of black women who look like that, but they could never take you home. Your mother and you have a very unhealthy relationship. You're raised by a single mother that you barely saw. You have no idea who your father is, or he's doing life in prison. You qualify for a sexy red. I know that's hard to hear. That's what you qualify for. And it's not the fault of anyone else. It's the fault of your parents, or the lack thereof. our childhood experience and the socioeconomic background will dictate a lot. It will dictate a lot. It's just for those of us who built something and didn't become products of the environment, rejected the environment, and come hell or high water, we kept pushing through. The reality is that was something we could control. Romantic relationships are not something that's in anyone's control. It's in the parents' control. But once you're born, you don't have control over that. You don't. This is why arranged marriage was such a big thing. But we don't have control, and love is not guaranteed. So for people like myself, men and women, and I bring up race because it's relevant, but even to go and to mention this, when you go to poor whites normally marry each other. They're not going to be able to marry someone else. And when they marry each other, they just continue all the cycle of chaos and dysfunction. That's all they do. And you see that. You see this in all communities, that if there's poverty present, if there's chaos and dysfunction, this is what you're going to see. So it's not synonymous with just Black people, but I have to speak from a Black experience. So what I can say is that the best person for someone like myself and other Black women, if you're watching, would be someone who comes from, where we come from, and they rejected the environment. But you got to know, Black men and women, most people don't do that. Most people become products of the environment because that is what is natural. So if you met another person like you, it most likely would work, but it's a very slim chance. The other thing is, someone that comes from a different environment have a lot of empathy, and they don't care what anyone else has to say, and they choose you. But the dating experiences that we're having has a lot to do with our familiar background. It's not everybody else.
I see where you're coming from. And I think, like somebody in the comments said, it's a ton of nuance in what you're saying. I think, and I've experienced in households where the young lady did have two parents. That's all she listened to. So they were trying to get her to, get the best that she could. In my opinion, the problem was that they were always in her ear about what was good enough and what was best. And she never could become her own person. So having two parents in that situation actually destroyed you. But I think what you're saying is, on the whole, overall, in general, it's better. And that is, statistically speaking, very true, right? But I also think that this is one of the most important things in relationships, in marriages, is for two people to come together. Now, the situation that you're talking about, well, I've got trauma, you've got trauma, my daddy taught me this way, your mama taught you that way. Y'all think about it as somebody trying to lose weight. I see a lot of videos, transformational videos of a person going from, 400 pounds to 176 in 2 or 3 years. And it's great to see. They still have scars and reminders of how big they used to be. But you look at them and you're excited. You look at them and you're happy for them. The things that they were able to accomplish. And they only did that by hard work, consistency, changing their ways, changing their diet, a lot of things, right? Assuming that they didn't take the easy way out or do some weird, unhealthy diet. They did it over and over again by committing to saying, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to see it through regardless of how it comes out, because I need to get better. I need to get healthier. And that's what two people from that socioeconomic status, from that position in life can do. I see you have a single mom. I had a single dad. We've got some trauma. Let's see if I can share my word with you. You share yours with me. And let's work through this together. A lot of emotional discipline. A lot of a lot of communication. You know, there's a lot of times you gonna feel it in your chest, and you gonna want to say something off the wall crazy because they said something crazy to you, but you gotta step. You don't want them to talk to you crazy all the time, but you know what I'm saying is you gotta control what you're saying, and sometimes they annoy you, and you gotta step back and say, "Oh, what I was saying was." And sometimes just the smallest minor stuff annoys you, and that's your training from childhood that could come out, right? And then I'd probably tell you almost quite literally almost anything in your relationship and marriage, if you stay long enough, can be an argument, will be an argument. But you got to start working through that stuff and just kind of, focus your mind on the good parts of that person. Focus your attitude on positivity. You can address a situation and a problem while still being positive, while still kind of clearing the air. Now, there's a lot of times in a marriage that things are going to get tense, right? But once again, that's what laughter, that's what jokes, that's what comedy does for the marriage. It kind of breaks it up so that, you and the person, y'all both know there was tension there, but it kind of breaks it up to where y'all can kind of lighten the mood faster and get back to doing whatever you were doing faster instead of walking around the house mad at each other. Now y'all can't be intimate like you planned that night. Now y'all going to bed charged up, mad, but don't nobody want to say sorry. Don't nobody want to give in first. So it's definitely a process, but it can be done.
Okay, so hypothetically, what do you do if you started seeing this guy? Can't remember if I was 20 or I just turned 21, but he was 28 or 27 when I met him. 6-year age gap, whatever. And you were living in LA at the time, and he had been everything was perfect. Like, you thought that he was genuinely the one for you. Perfect. Everything was going fine. You think you're in love. You're stupid. You're delusional. Whatever. He's going through a hard time in his life, and obviously it happens to everyone. You're an empath and you feel for him, and he's basically telling you moved to New York then. He's telling you he can't visit you until he gets out of debt. He can't visit you until he gets a job. He's just always telling you his problems, and you feel for him, and so you offer to pay his rent. First stupid decision that I ever made. His rent's about $2,500, and I paid it, I think, 5 times. And then he's telling you that he's not going to be able to go to school anymore if he doesn't fix his credit. So you then, again, stupidly offer to pay his Amex off of, I think it was $12,000, and not including any of this, you'd also get him gifts, like very expensive designer gifts, because you just wanted to make him happy, and that was your entire goal. This entire relationship was just make him happy, because you thought that you were building a life for the two of you. And he would tell you that you guys are having this come up story together, and he's gonna pay you back tenfold one day and buy you a house, and that the only reason that I'm doing this is because we have a future together, and I'm building him up so we could have one, essentially. And I believe all of this, and I happily, literally with a smile on my face, give him the money, because at the end of the day, it's just funny to me, and I didn't care. I just wanted him to be happy, and I wanted to help him. So there's just so much. So you guys go to Miami. It's just one instance. You go to Miami, you pay for a room at the Setai and for his flight and for literally everything. And the Setai is a very expensive hotel in Miami, if you don't know. And you get him $2,000 UFC tickets. You say, go ahead, go with your friend. Just please come home right after, because we're long distance. I want to spend time with you. And he doesn't respond to you after the fight. Comes home at 4 a.m. wasted as fuck. You're obviously upset, and he's mad at you because you're fighting with him because he didn't do what he promised what he would do. You also find Tinder on his phone in Miami, and he has some stupid excuse for that. And also, a girl from his past, this was before Miami. Again, I'm so stupid, and I know this is like 90% my fault. A girl from his past tells you that he basically lied about his whole life and none of it's true, and he basically like treated her like shit. And he convinces you that she's crazy and that you shouldn't believe her. So whatever, Miami passes. He comes to visit me in New York. Whenever he comes to visit me, I pay for his flight. I pay for literally everything. He doesn't spend a dime while he's in this relationship with me. A dime. He's going to Paris for some sort of law school. I don't know if it's actually law school or not. He's going to Paris for some study abroad program. And he claims, like I said, that he can't go until his Amex is paid off. I pay his Amex off. Completely pay it off. Like $12,000. And he removes me off Instagram as a follower, and obviously I freak out, and he says that I've lost my Instagram privileges because I get mad at him too much because he's liking other girls' photos on Instagram. And so while he's trying to prove to me that he's barely on Instagram, so it shows me his screen time, he incriminates himself by, it shows Raya, a dating app, like 16 minutes Raya one day, 7 minutes Raya another day. And you freak out more, obviously, again, because no one can understand the amount of, like, pain and hurt that it feels when you're jeopardizing so much of your life for someone and they're just using you and manipulating you. And then 2 days before he leaves for Paris, he breaks up with you and tells you that he can't be with someone that's so reactive, someone who can't control their emotions, and someone who is just crazy, and he just can't be with you. So you're heartbroken at this point. And he goes to Paris, and he doesn't say a word to you for 2 months. July rolls around, and you're starting to get a little mad now, and you just want the money back because you feel like you've been literally tricked out and played. And you do some things that you're not completely proud of. Like, I texted his mom and told him the situation. I don't know what he said to her to get out of it, but she had no idea that I was giving him any money at all. And mind you, before he went to Paris, right when he broke up with me, my dad found out that I was giving him money and cut me off. And so he basically put me in a horrible spot. And he was just like, oh well, like, not my problem, basically. And so you freak out, you text his mom. He finally decides to text you back after you have to threaten him and harass him and text him over and over and over again. And he somehow convinces you, I know, again, my fault, that I need to change and I need to be a different person and I need to grow up, and that's the only way that we're going to find our way back to each other. And he can't pay you back right now. Any way that you slice it, he can't pay you back. And that you're just this generous girl who really wanted to help him, and he never saw it as that he was ever going to pay you back, basically. So you let it go. You guys talk, like, here and there, kind of. I think the last time I talked to him was like 2 weeks ago, just like very superficial, shooting the breeze, like, hi, how are you? And a woman's intuition is always right. The day that I found this out, I felt so just like weird about my past relationship with him. And then you get sent a photo yesterday of him in Greece with his new girlfriend. So you text him, you freak out. Again, I can't even contain, like, my crash out at this point. Like, I don't know what you want me to do about it. Like, all this, like, love that I had towards him is turning into anger because I just can't believe that I let myself get played this hard. And he tells you that you're a virus and in his life, and that you helped him and that's it, and you helped him back in May. So he doesn't owe you anything. He doesn't owe you a dime. And why can't I be happy for him? Why can't I move on? And I'm evil, and I'm like, he's literally said, I think, that I ruined his perspective on people. And so I don't know, like, I don't know what anyone else would do in this situation, but I don't know what to do. I'm so just shocked and hurt, and I literally feel like I've been Tinder swindlered because I think everyone's been, like, young and dumb and in love once, and I know I made a huge mistake, and there were so many red flags and things that I haven't said in this video that I should have left at. Like, he would literally ghost me for like 2 weeks at a time and come back with like an insane excuse, and I would take him back every single time. And it was always my fault. I was always the problem in his eyes. He never thought that he did anything wrong. And his version of making things right with me is, I said sorry. Like, move on. Why can't you live your life? Let me live my life. That's all that he has to say. And so, yeah. Anyways, what would you hypothetically do in this situation? Because I'm just going to say that this is, like, all alleged.
Well, I feel like you took the words right out of my mouth. I'm seriously suggesting that you submit this story to Netflix. That's the way that you're going to get the money back. I can see you saying, man, I spent $300 on this man. I did this for his birthday. But I mean, you're paying off thousands of dollars. Okay, you know, we're building together. You're paying off his debt. Okay, I don't love it, but okay. When you get to the point of buying vacations, when you get to the point of paying for $2,000 UFC tickets, we're no longer talking about debt. We're talking about leisure. We're talking about discretionary funds, like spending. That's what we're talking about. And if you're still at this point, at this point, this man needs to be at one of the Ivy League schools, teaching a course on bamboozling people, on conning the crap out of people. I mean, this is master level. I'm not sure how you're seeing. How old were you? How old are you now? Because you're still talking to him. Why are you not reporting this man to the police? Where is this man? Where do you see this man? The next time you meet up with this man, call the police. Call the cops. Lead it. Whew.
Why is it when men and women are dating, how the man acts is such a big reflection on the woman in society? I've always found that very interesting and very fascinating, how much women get criticism for a man's actions. And I don't know, I was thinking about that.
I don't think you're always criticized. I think there's a lot of women that come online and they complain about how a man treats them. And instead of moving around and trying to figure out the problem, there was a woman talking, oh, well, sometimes I just want to complain. But that's all a lot of these women do online is complain. So you're going to get blamed for the problems that you continue to run into if you continue to live that way, if you continue to do that. At some point in time, you need to take accountability. That's why men say choose better. It's not that you're the entire problem. It's just that you're not, it doesn't seem like you're doing anything substantial to improve the problem. Like you're not asking any questions. You keep on going on dates without actually trying to find out who that person is. And your efforts to find that person, who that person is getting on the T app or posting in, are we dating the same person? Instead of maybe going to talk to your dad or a man that you trust to try to vet the guy and get to know his nature so you can know how to proceed, right? It's a dance, and it's okay if you learn the dance. Y'all talk about men needing to learn how to approach, but y'all don't understand how to vet a man. When the man approaches, you don't understand how to see and read the signs. If a man, y'all are talking about, oh, he blew his nose the wrong way, red flag, instead of just, and it's actually a good guy, instead of saying, oh, this his behavior seems off. This guy doesn't really seem like he has a lot of integrity. Doesn't really seem like he's a man of his word. That's a red flag to me. I don't know if I can depend on him. I don't know if I can trust him. Y'all do all this talking about not being able to trust a man and then go right back out there and be dating. Oh, we're still going strong. And we had a talk just like that young lady that we just talked about. It's being swindled. I think she said $34,000 in total. What should I do? Talk to him 2 weeks ago. Just a hi, hello. What are we saying hello for? What are we talking about? So yes, after $34,000, you absolutely need to take some responsibility. And yes, after a long line of bad decisions, you absolutely do need to take accountability.
What do you think women want?
Someone to shut up and pay the bills.
I'm just asking men, why are you like this?
I don't know. Terrible premise for an interview. I have no idea.
A terrible premise for an interview?
Yeah.
What is the manliest thing about you?
I know I'm not very manly.
You're not?
No, not really.
What's the most feminine thing about you?
I don't know, my skincare, I think.
What's your skincare routine?
Longer than it should be.
What do you think women want?
I don't know, someone to shut up and pay the bills, mostly.
Really?
Yeah, at least yeah.
What do you think men want?
Peace, mostly. Yeah.
So everyone wants everyone to shut up.
Yeah, in a way, yeah, actually. That's my take, yeah.
This man just sent me the money for my denim Telfar duffel and to get my hair done tomorrow, and I still don't like him.
So just FYI, the bag that she's talking about is like $200 and it's sold out. So I'm not even sure if she has the bag. She might be lying, but me and this guy in the comments are touching and agreeing and hoping that this video finds his For You page, makes its way back to him, and he'll know to move in a different direction. He probably lost about $300, but it's better late than never. So, Godspeed.
You won't touch that PS5 until you're 25, okay? Go out there and not hit nobody if you don't want. I'm gonna you up, okay? All that playing on the field, don't look at me, don't wave at me, don't smile at me, none of that. Focused on the game, okay? You want your ass beat? No. You wanna go to the fair today? Then hit 5 people. You don't hit 5, you're not going nowhere. You don't hit nobody. You're not touching that phone or that game until I feel like it, okay? I'm not playing.
I'm not sure what to think about this. A woman in the comments said, poor baby. Thinking it's a little hobby the whole time. This is their meal ticket. You know, maybe this is an overcorrection for this woman. She don't got no man in her life. So she's got to play the mom and the dad. And she's overcorrecting on the dad responsibilities.
A guy asked for my number at work today, and then I asked him how old he was over text. I was like, how old are you? And he was like, I'm 22. And I was like, you're too young for me. I was like, I don't have time to raise a son. I was like, I don't have time to check if you're eating all your food groups. Do you know what I mean? I was like, you're too young for me. And he was like, groom me then. That's crazy.